Remember a doppelganger? We used to think about those in movies and in the real world where you have someone who looks just like you out there walking around, living a full life, and people could mistake them for you. Some people live that every day. They call them twins. But what if we could find ourselves finding our same identical person online in different platforms and wondering, who is that person with my face saying what I would not say? That's what we're talking about today, the deep fake and how we give people permission to actually use our face and create our likeness on the internet doing all types of things. Let's talk about it. Check this out.
In which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time.
Jordan Peele created this fake video of President Obama to demonstrate how easy it is to put words in someone else's mouth.
Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
Not everyone bought it, but the technology behind such frauds is rapidly improving, even as worries increase about their potential for harm. This is your Bloomberg Quick Take on deepfakes. Deepfakes, or realistic-looking fake videos and audio, gained popularity as a means of adding famous actresses into porn scenes. Despite bans on major websites, they remain easy to make and find. They're named for the deep learning artificial intelligence algorithms that make them possible. Input real audio or video of a specific person, the more the better, and the software tries to recognize patterns in speech and movement. Introduce a new element like someone else's face or voice, and a deepfake is born.
It's actually extremely easy to make one of these things. There were just some breakthroughs from academic researchers who work with this particular kind of machine learning in the past few weeks, which would drastically reduce the amount of video you need actually to create one of these.
Programs like FakeApp, the most popular and widely available for making deep fakes, need dozens of hours of human assistance to create a video that looks like this, rather than this. In August, researchers at Carnegie Mellon revealed software that accurately rendered not just facial features, but changing weather patterns and flowers in bloom. This advance is not yet available to the public. But with increasing capability comes increasing concern.
This is kind of fake news on steroids, potentially. We do not know of a case yet where someone has tried to use this to perpetrate a kind of fraud or an information warfare campaign, or for that matter, to really damage someone's reputation. But it's the danger that everyone is really afraid of.
In a world where fakes are easy to create, authenticity also becomes easier to deny. People caught doing genuinely objectionable things could claim evidence against them is bogus. Fake videos can also be difficult to detect, though researchers around the world and at the US Department of Defense have said they're working on ways to counter them.
Avatars aren't the only thing getting people talking. So is number 5 of Lensa's terms of use that says in part, you grant us a perpetual, irrevocable, non-exclusive, royalty-free, worldwide, fully paid, transferable, sub-licensable license to use, reproduce, modify, distribute, create derivative works of your user content.
In plain terms, if you're a user who wants to use Lensa, you agree that any photographs you give to Lensa, they can use it however they want.
And that has cybersecurity experts concerned.
What is the danger in giving this company your face?
Your face is something that is used to identify you and can unlock your identity around the world online.
The app is owned by Prisma Labs, a company whose founders, according to their LinkedIn pages, previously worked in Russia. Prisma, incorporated in the U.S., tells NBC News, we don't have any presence in the Russian Federation. The company also says that photos will be immediately deleted from their servers after the avatars are ready. And fans of those avatars?
They make me feel powerful, they make me feel strong and confident.
Are loving their new looks, regardless of the risk. Savannah Sellers, NBC News.
So guys, we're talking about this new app, Lensa, as you just saw in the previous video. This thing's got 5 million views in this month alone. It is the newest, hottest thing. And if you're on social media at all, you will see your friends popping up all types of crazy looking, super cool looking like, druid gods or, Egyptian warriors or, superheroes or, just cartoons or actresses or angels. I mean, this thing is super cool and almost pulled me in. I was like, I want one of those. And I was just super excited watching all my friends pop up. And then I saw this news story And what's really interesting is that this is not out of my wheelhouse as far as what I used to do. So some of you may know by now that I used to be psychological operations in the Army. I was a sergeant in that corps, and basically psychological operations is psychological warfare. And one of the things that we would do or could do is, depending on what we were trying to accomplish based on our commander's intent, is we could get information, and one of those uses of the information is defamation of a person's character or changing the narrative that a person's trying to put out there. And one way to do that is to use their likeness in different types of media and so on and so forth, or say they said certain things that maybe they did or didn't say, you know, and that may not be completely 100% our thing in the US, but, you know, other countries use it all the time, and we see that in politicians using that all the time. But now we are ramping up to the next level with this thing called deep fakes. And so we start seeing these deep fakes. And what I find interesting is that quite often people know that this exists. They know this information exists or this technology exists, but they're so quick to believe everything that they see on TV, even though we already know that it may not be real or what they find on the internet. So they'll see a person, oh, I saw that person and they said this. And then I'll say to that person, well, do you know what a deep fake is? Maybe it could be that. Oh, no, this is just what that person would say. It would just be what that person would say. And it's like, okay, that is interesting, because if you already have that belief that this person is this way, then the way that we can really build on that, if we wanted to manipulate the masses, is we just create something that's not too far off from where most people believe that person is anyway, and then create a deep fake of that person. But then you say, well, how do you get this person's information or this person's likeness? Well, what we just saw was how this app, in their user terms, says that it can use your likeness forever across the universe, in every galaxy, no matter the dimension, in back time and forward time and the present time, you know, like maybe some of that's a little exaggeration, but you saw what it said. And it was basically saying that you're giving permission to use your likeness in all of these different settings, or to the advantage of the company. Now, what do you think people in these artificial intelligence or these deep fake, programming companies, where do you think your information is going? They're going to take that information and they're going to buy that information and they're going to manipulate it any way they want to. They can build different types of avatars and things of that nature. So if you ever try to move into another realm or another aspect of business, maybe that could be used against you. We just don't know. For most of us, we just say, well, I'm a good person, so nobody's ever going to take my likeness and use it for any type of negative purposes. But the reality is we just don't know. This AI, artificial intelligence, is taking your likeness and making hundreds and thousands of depictions of what you look like in different settings and in different ways. And that's all being stored in some software somewhere. And if you take that and you take some of this other technology that's out there, then you could start creating fake scenarios that are built around you or your likeness. And that's a pretty scary place. Some people are gaming that and they're playing with that. And let's see what this one guy did, where he just used it as a means to just kind of create like a fake life for himself and just to play some games. Check this out.
All year long, Deep Tom Cruise has been posting videos showing what appears to be a different side of the Oscar-nominated actor.
I think there's bubblegum inside this.
People are surprised that I'm a big Dave Matthews guy.
But believe it or not, that's most definitely not Tom Cruise. Nor is this with me in our LA bureau.
This is serious, breaking news, but a little behind the scenes, a little flavor. I'm with one of the most legitimate correspondents on Earth. Now, if you're interviewing me, Jacob, you face it. Hold on just a second. There's a big fire. We're safe.
You are deepfake Tom Cruise.
That's me. That's me.
Miles Fisher may have an uncanny resemblance to the superstar, but using advanced technology, what he's created is far more than an extraordinary impersonation.
Have you guys created the best deepfake that has ever been made?
I think we have created the first deepfake that's so realistic that a large majority of people have seen.
Not only seen, but fooled by, including at least one of the world's biggest celebrities.
This is the one that Justin Bieber thought was real.
Fisher says looking and sounding like the leading man made it difficult to chart his own path as an actor. So a year ago, he decided to lean into it, stumbling into a role with repercussions far beyond Hollywood.
As I find myself the unofficial face of this deepfake movement, it's important to learn. And I'm fascinated by this. This is the bleeding edge of technology.
It started when Fisher contacted Belgian visual effects wizard Chris Ume. They began creating viral videos for fun, and they're only getting better.
Still got it.
About 5 days, maximum 6 days, I could turn around something like this.
So you've gone from weeks to days in a matter of a year. This technology is advancing that rapidly.
Yeah.
How can we use this technology by creating kind of identity rights? Let's say Tom Cruise gave us the consent for this likeness, where we could move beyond just small parody clips. Everybody gets paid for that intellectual property.
That does raise ethical questions about where you fit in all this.
The thesis of this company that Chris started begins with ethics.
They say they'll only take on projects they consider ethical. But some worry leaving companies and individuals to make that decision could be a dangerous precedent. Congress has held hearings on deepfakes and AI, and the FBI tells NBC News they're following the rapidly developing technology closely, saying we'll continue to investigate any violations of federal law and actors that may use them for nefarious acts.
So that guy did it for fun. He was just playing around. He talked a lot about these algorithms and how they're designed and how he was able to create this fake life for himself. But, what would that look like in a sinister way? To create propaganda, to have people saying things and doing things that they wouldn't normally do. If you could think about that, if we have a politician that goes against what the powers that be is looking to project out into the community, and that person is looking really positive. Before, if you wanted to do character assassination, you had to get like a private eye, and that guy had to go out there and spend hours and hours trying to find the holes in this person's background and then bring that hole forward. Now, we could start to create that based on taking that person's face from these different artificial intelligence programs and then creating whole scenarios that are fake based on that person. Have that person saying things that they wouldn't normally say, do things. So if there's any doubt in the society's mind about this individual, they could be swayed, very easily with this fake information. What we see is what we believe in most cases. And so you would have to have faith. And so then that could also work against you, right? Because now you don't know what to believe. So it could be real. We could catch somebody who's legitimately doing something bad out there in the world, and then they could come out on stage and say, that wasn't me, it was a deep fake. Now everybody's confused. We're like, is that really him, or is that not really him? Is that her? Is that not her? We don't know. So now we got to go off faith. And so it creates a scenario where when we do find out the truth, we don't know if it's true because this person's denying it, which is one of the oldest tricks in the book, is denial, and just keep denying it. And then the other aspect is that, it could not be true. And now we can't believe that person because we don't know if it's not true because it looks so much like them and it sounded so much like them. And there's so much information that's coming out about this person doing this. So can we see the harm in that? Man, this is such a scary time that we're living in. Now we have so many layers going on and all these different patterns. We already can manipulate information very well with propaganda, with just using social media and stuff like that. Now we can actually create live video of people doing things and saying things that aren't real. That's a very scary place to be, and the government is very concerned about it as well for their defense and for their offense. In the sense of their defense, they're looking at how do you spot like a deep fake? And then even if they could spot it, then how do you get the people to realize that that's a fake? I want you guys to think about that. Make sure you like and subscribe. this channel and share it with other people so that we can raise up the community with all the knowledge of the things that are coming our way in the near future. Thanks.